He may have went to him himself and said, guys, listen, let me do my stuff. Let me do the crap that I'm, and they put him out there, and they're not stupid. He is the fourth biggest merchandise seller right now.
All right, so Dutch, on SmackDown Friday night, we had ourselves a United States Championship Invitational. So this is a qualifying match that they did. A fatal four-way match. Grayson Waller was in there, Santos Escobar, AJ Styles. Yes, plug all your books. Do everything you got there. And I forget who the fourth person was at this point. Butch. Yeah, Butch was in there. You're right. So this was a fatal.
That's how it starts. That's how dementia starts. When you can't start remembering names.
Trust me. Yeah, no, I know. It's bad. It's really bad over here. But so we had this fatal four-way for the United States title to qualify to go to the finals, right?
Yep.
This is a fatal four-way that was set up. The winner of this one and the winner of next week's match meets on July 28th, and they will face Austin Theory at an undisclosed date, hopefully at SummerSlam, because if the person who I think is going to win wins, that match needs to be at SummerSlam. But regardless, this match seemed to be set up here tonight, Dutch. They leaned heavily into the fact that Grayson Waller was going to be the guy. He gets a backstage interview. He's talking about how everybody's hitting him up on media. He's literally did an exchange with The Rock and did The Rock's catchphrase. They made it seem like he was slam dunk. We get all the reports this week that the higher ups are huge on him, and he's got a really, really bright future coming off of his match last week with Edge, which was great. Not only does he not win the fatal four-way, Dutch, tonight, but
he loses.
He's the one who eats the pin, and Santos Escobar moves on to the finals. I found that very interesting.
Reverse psychology. Because they led you one way and then took you somewhere else. And AJ left.
Yeah.
Because his buddies were getting beat up by Karrion Kross. How can Karrion Kross beat up two guys or three guys or whatever? It didn't make sense to me. I didn't like that. I didn't like that part of it. But it was a way. I know what it was. A way to get AJ out of the way. Yep. And then, of course, the kid, what's his name now? Now I got dementia.
Grayson Waller. It's the role.
Grayson Waller. He took the pin. And I haven't really, let's talk about Grayson Waller a minute. I haven't much enjoyed his, in-ring segments. They were okay, but I think they were really trying a little bit too hard with him.
You talk about the Grayson Waller effect.
The talk show. I think that they're going to have to take their time with him, because I've been preaching patience this whole time. Take your time, take your time. And the mere fact that he got beat last week and he got beat tonight, which means, and I'm 100% on board with what Triple H said, the story never ends, because they can pick another story up anytime.
Sure.
So like you said, they led us down this path. Oh, he's the one. He's the one. The Rock's going to come in. We're all putting it together as fans. Sure. And all of a sudden, he eats the pin. And Escobar, I think, was the right one to take it.
Yeah, look, and I'm not mad that Santos Escobar won this match. I think Santos is.
I think you are. I think you show a little bit of anger.
No,
you need to go some anger management classes.
And that's
go ahead.
That was the beauty part about this match is I would have been fine with 3 out of the 4 guys. Honestly, I would have been fine with AJ Styles winning too, but I would rather see him move up and maybe face Roman Reigns down the line if Roman is still the Universal Champion after SummerSlam. We'll talk about that coming up here in a bit. But regardless, I would have been fine with any of these guys winning this match. Santos Escobar is very, very talented. He is a stud in his own right, just like Grayson Waller is. And I agree with you. They have taken their time with Grayson Waller. They were almost forced to. They were forced to because he broke his leg. He broke.
Is that what happened to him?
Yeah, I
didn't know that.
Yeah, in his final match in NXT, he was fighting for the NXT Championship. He was in the ring with Carmelo Hayes, and he snapped his leg. Like, pretty much snapped it clean, according to him on social media. So that's why he was constantly in the ring. That's why he was doing all they made sure to put this guy on television, Dutch, while he was hurt, which is something they don't typically do. You look at Johnny Gargano and Indy Hartwell over on Monday Night Raw, that's a 3-hour show. They have barely been on television since they got hurt. Heck, Gargano's been healthy for several weeks now, hasn't been on television yet. They made sure to put Grayson Waller on TV and get him familiar with the crowd, and then his first match, he's facing Edge once he's healthy. And then tonight he gets put in this United States title match, or title qualifier. You thought he had all the momentum going, but they still got big things for him, even though he lost tonight.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and if they can get that mindset in the rest of the talent, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We can, all of a sudden, we'll do something, hit a kick, and we'll go with it. So,
and they did that.
That's the way.
They slow played Santos Escobar. He didn't do much when he first got the call up. Then all of a sudden he's putting on the LWO gear. But then they're losing. They're losing and helping Ray out in his build-up with Dominic. And now all of a sudden, here's a chance for Santos Escobar now to elevate himself. We'll see who he faces in a couple of weeks.
Well, okay, Cameron Grimes is another one they're going to have to really take their time on. I think he's almost, shucks. He's almost too much in that vein. And I don't know how that's going to catch on, because especially when he's up against LA Knight. Because LA Knight, he'll just drown him. LA Knight will probably drown everybody at this point.
Yes.
And what did they do with him when he started out? They beat him. They put him with the maximum male models, which, if you'll remember, I predicted DOA, dead on arrival, and they were. And then they said, well, they would listen to the show. They said, Dutch got a point. Them other two guys, they're dead. So let's try him by himself. What was his name when he was a maximum? Max Dupri?
Max Dupri. Don't forget, you have to hit the high note on the E.
And they said, and I think he may have went to him himself and said, guys, listen, let me do my stuff. Let me do the crap that and they put him out there, and they're not stupid. He is the fourth biggest merchandise seller right now.
Right now, third of the active competitors in the company right now.
Really, he's third.
Of active competitors, yeah, because Austin's technically third. Stone Cold is third. Right now. Okay,
well, but anyway, and they pay tremendous attention to that because they make a tremendous amount of money on merchandise. So if somebody is moving it, they're going to push them. And they study those. They look at those figures and say, okay. And, of course, Triple H hears that, who's selling, and let's go with them.
Well, and you look at what the crowds have been doing. Obviously, the crowds have gotten behind him, even though they have not done anything of substance with him. He has his hands on the Money in the Bank briefcase, and everybody thought maybe for a second he's going to win that because everybody was on the LA Knight hype train. They wanted him to win Money in the Bank. He didn't. Damian Priest ends up giving him a broken arrow off the top of the ladder, and Damian grabs the briefcase. Totally fine with that as well. So they didn't want LA Knight in the main event yet. This is the perfect spot for him, and they needed to incorporate him in this United States Invitational. He's the only one who got to cut a promo in front of the live crowd. They filmed his attack on Hit Row last week at Madison Square Garden, which did not make television. They put it up on YouTube. It got 1.3 million views. A random attack on Hit Row, who nobody cares about right now, got 1.3 million views because it was LA Knight doing it. They know they got momentum behind this guy.
Okay, what do you?
Sooner or later.
So, what do you think he's got? It's something you can't identify, right?
No, it's it.
People just
that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
What it is.
He's got it. But I do think he went to him. He said, "Man, this Max Dupri, it's just not going to work. Let me do my stuff that I'm used to doing and see what it does." And they said, "Okay, hell, go." And he did it, and they beat the crap out of him too. They beat him like 3-4 weeks in a row, almost.
No, they beat him.
I remember
months. He won one match in his lead up to the Mountain Dew Pitch Black match against Bray Wyatt. One, and it was against an enhancement talent.
Listen, if that Pitch Black match don't kill you off, he's undestroyable.
LA
You can't
Knight,
do it.
LA Knight is Andy Dufresne. Do you know who Andy Dufresne is? Does the name ring a bell?
Of course I do.
The main character from Shawshank Redemption, right?
Oh, yeah. I remember that now.
Okay, you remember the movie Shawshank Redemption? You remember how?
Yeah, I remember that.
Okay, LA
Yes,
Knight.
I do. He's in
Dufresne.
Mexico. Yep.
Yeah. LA Knight is Andy Dufresne. He crawled through a river of and came out clean on the other side. That is what LA Knight, because everything that this man went through, the fans had every reason to abandon him. They had every reason not to care about him. They had every reason to just move on and pay their attention and put their investment and their interest in somebody else. And they didn't. They have stuck with the guy, despite the fact that he's never been a babyface either. He insults him. He insults the crowd, says, I don't need you. I'm doing all this on my own. Who cares what you say? This, that, and the other thing. And he's constantly losing, and he's doing bad gimmicks and this, that. Here he is. Life finds a way, Dutch. Life finds a way. Here he is. Doesn't win Money in the Bank. Man, it's great to sit here and say, oh, we got big plans for the guy. Dutch, sooner or later, you got to pull the trigger. And I think now's the time. Well,
they had big plans for Karrion Kross, and we saw tonight that they're still trying to do it. And that's another story. I would say another story for another day. But since we're talking about it tonight, we'll touch on it just a little bit later.
Is the reason AJ Styles didn't win that match tonight. AJ Styles,
and that was designed just to get AJ out of the way. They don't expect anything big with Karrion Kross and AJ because they tried Karrion Kross. I don't know what it is. Let's compare LA Knight with Karrion Kross.
Yeah,
one guy has it, and Karrion Kross doesn't. I don't care what they do with him. I don't care because LA Knight's a hell of a promo. Let me talk to you. Yeah. But see, Karrion Kross doesn't. He got TikTok. That's bullshit. I mean, if I had to rely on TikTok as a gimmick, save your money, Mr. Kross.
Yeah, look, I am higher on Karrion Kross's talent than you are. Especially as a promo. I think he delivers a damn good promo. But here's the thing, Dutch, it doesn't matter what my opinion is. It doesn't matter what your opinion is.
Or me either. Well, it does matter.
It doesn't matter what our opinions are on Karrion Kross. You're right about one thing. The audience has bought into LA Knight. They have not in Karrion Kross. Karrion Kross, it's coming up on a year. A year with Karrion Kross. He came back on August the 6th. And
I guarantee you that when creatives sit down, let's come up with something with Kross, and they're going to do this. With LA Knight, it'd be easy. We do this, we do this, we do this. But see, when they have to really start thinking for stuff for you to do, I think you've lost the game.
Well, and they really put themselves behind the 8 ball with Karrion because they had him built up. They had him built up perfectly in his first run in NXT. He was this unstoppable monster. He didn't resonate with people, but they still hated him, right? They hated him, and he still elicited a response. And to me, that was the same playbook that they should have run when he came back. But what happens? You bring him back, and he's 50-50 booked. At best, he's 50-50 booked. He can't beat anybody clean. Now,
didn't they bring him back under another gimmick?
He's basically the same guy. He's just got hair. It's really the only difference. He has hair this time around. It's the same. He has not changed much since what? Well, okay, hang on. You're right. Because what we have now is NXT Karrion Kross. The Karrion Kross that was on the main roster last time was the one in the gimp mask gladiator suit that Vince McMahon tried to dress up, and he's losing to Jeff Hardy in like his first match, right? I washed that from my mind. I watched that.
Don't. You're not allowed to do that.
Yeah, but this Karrion Kross,
you have to remember that.
This Karrion Kross is very similar to the one that we saw in NXT. Maybe a little bit of combination with Kross doing some of his stuff out on the indies as well. So maybe a little bit of all, but it's very similar to NXT Karrion Kross. The guy just has not resonated with much of the main roster audience, and I think his booking has a lot to do with that because you can't sit here and take this guy who's supposed to be this apocalyptic force and have him lose, and honestly lose easily. I don't think the booking has helped him at all.
It hasn't. But him being the apocalyptic force, that's very hard to book because they've seen guys. They already got Brock Lesnar. That he's going to be hard to stop. People believe Brock Lesnar. They believe him.
That's an apples and oranges comparison because Brock he's a beast. He's a monster, right? Like Karrion goes more for the
how many monsters can you have though?
I mean, that's a fair point. And that's why Karrion's kind of a different. Karrion's more of a Bray Wyatt type, but
that's another story.
Bray Wyatt's running booking issues. So
Bray Wyatt, he didn't get over. I don't know what he's what? Can he sell tickets? Can he? Yeah, they may, but put him in a main event. I mean, without boy, if he put all that other stuff underneath him, you'd probably sell out. But he wouldn't be the one selling out. He would just be on the card in a top spot that he maybe doesn't belong in. I will say that.
It's so hard for me because, like, I see obviously Bray Wyatt's talent as a performer. I don't know what he can do in the ring anymore because he has I've seen him compete in one match in 3 years, and it was the Pitch Black match that lasted about 5 minutes and got cut for time, and you could barely see it because it was another gimmick match. Most of his gimmick matches and performance art, I don't know what he can do in the ring anymore. Now the other go ahead real quick before I bring that up.
LA Knight came out of that match more over than Bray Wyatt did.
And he got one piece of offense in. He hit him with a kendo stick, and that was it. And then he lost after that, immediately after.
Listen, the fans are the arbiters of who they want. The fans, not me, not you, not anybody else. Even creative, they could sit back there, and if they don't hear those fans saying, and everybody heard it loud and clear tonight about LA Knight.
Oh yeah.
Let's put a rocket on his ass and let's let him go. And the thing about who did the Rock talk to this week? Or
he talked about Grayson Waller. He had
Grayson Waller. Well, I read it and then it was all wrong, and I said, wait a minute, why would he be doing that? They're talking about something else. The tweet was wrong, but anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, continue.
Grayson Waller is another guy who has it. Grayson Waller is a guy who has it. I think he has a very, very bright future as well. But I think LA Knight's got to win it.
Okay, let me ask you this: Grayson Waller versus LA Knight. Who would you put the rocket on?
Right now, I'm going with LA Knight. If you're talking about long term, it's an easy decision based off of the age. I mean, Grayson's just got more years left in the tank. You would think anyway. Younger guy, not that much younger. He's in his early 30s, but still. I'd still put it on Knight. Right now, if we're talking immediate future, it's LA Knight for sure.
Well, how old is he? He's 40.
LA Knight is 40. Yeah.
He's got 5 strong years.
Sure, absolutely. 40's not retirement age anymore. Damian Priest is older. He just won Money in the Bank.
And there's another guy that has a bright, bright future because there's something with the guy.
Oh, he's a rock star.
No kidding.
He's a total rock star. Like
how much different is WWE today than it was a year ago? Remember, I used to and saying no bench strength, nothing. And then when they had the big shakeup with Vince, then it moved. And then Endeavor took over, and now look at them. They got a lot of people warmed up. And that's what I liked about the show tonight. They gave everybody some airtime.
Sure.
Whether they get over or not, later on we'll see what they do. But they gave the Street Profits. That was a good little deal. That was a decent little deal. And that limo pulled up, and that reminds me of like WWE 10 years ago, 15 years ago when they had those big limousines pull up. That's the longest limousine I ever saw in my life. But now they got 3 guys that are in a group, and 3 is a good number for a big backstab. And I like that because a lot of that opened a bunch of doors just right there.
Dude, it honestly, it made me smile ear to ear. One, because we haven't seen Bobby Lashley in.
I've never seen a smile from ear to ear. Let me see it. Give me the ear-to-ear smile.
Anyway, all right, you know what I'm talking. So, like, we have not seen Bobby Lashley. We have not seen Bobby Lashley since he lost to AJ Styles in the main event of the match that set up the Night of Champions world title match, right? So AJ Styles won. He went on to face Seth Rollins. That was the match where Bobby hit his head. He got bloodied up a little bit, so maybe he needed to take some time off for injury concerns, whatever it was. But there were literally times where I forgot he was on the SmackDown roster until I'm looking it up online. He shows up tonight, and he's with the Street Profits. And Dutch, that is such a positive development, because for the last 2 months, I have been sitting here begging and wondering and just scratching my head, why on God's green earth would the Street Profits be the first tag team taken off the board in the draft by SmackDown if they're not going to do literally anything with them? Anything. They had that number one contenders tag team title tournament. The Street Profits were out of it before the first commercial break. They have not done anything with them. Now this is a positive development, because this could mean a myriad of things, but they have plans.
Patience. But you see, you didn't forget what they did with them. Now you're saying, why did they take them off the board so early? But now they come back. Now you might have a reason. You can understand the reason. So I think sometimes fans are quick to knee-jerk. Oh, that's stupid, that's this, that's that.
Oh, that's human nature, absolutely.
Yeah, just wait on it, because the way WWE is going now, I mean, they're not wasting anything. They got open doors for everybody, and if they go through one, it don't work, guess what? They got a bunch more doors down there, and just wait a little while, and they go through another one.